Today we begin our investigation, the first episode of the first season, Awakening. Okay? Now, let's get right to the unboxing. Okay, this one we're invited by a company called Listening Friends of America to interact with a person that's locked away somewhere that needs basically a pen pal, but it's only a one-way communication. So ultimately, he doesn't have our address and can't send us anything dangerous. So let's dig in. Episode 1. Various items they gave us. So let's dig in. Okay, the very first thing we have is the Listening Friends of America letter. Let's take a look. This is sent to us by George Madsen. Dear listening friend, thank you for joining our community and welcome to Listening Friends of America. We at LFOA are excited and grateful to have you in our community, and we appreciate all of our volunteer support for the thousands of isolated men and women living in prisons, hospitals, hospices, psychiatric wards across the country. As you know, many people, through whatever circumstances, have lived their lives without any available shoulder to cry on or friend to confide in. You will provide immeasurable emotional support for someone with a story to tell and no one to listen. Rest assured, your privacy and safety are among our top concerns. Each package you receive from your friend will be inspected for hazardous materials. Any deliberate attempts to cause you harm will be removed and your friend will be reassigned. In addition, scanners and software will identify key words in any written correspondence and flag offending documents. However, no one in our safety and privacy insurance office will read unflagged documents out of consideration for the privacy our work demands. If you do happen to read anything detailing illegal contact, you are under no such obligation and are encouraged to contact your local law enforcement. Flagged documents may be removed from any package after multiple flags, your friend will be reassigned. Again, thank you for your time. Okay, and this is from George Madsen, Vice President and Chief Welcoming Agent. That's an interesting title there, of Listening Friends of America. Let's take a look at it. Okay, next thing we have is the John William James letter, which is that for you. I'll put it up on screen. Okay, let's take a look. What does John William James have to say to us? He already calls us his friend. I guess he doesn't know our name, so. My dearest friend. Pretty affectionate guy. I first and foremost wish to express my gratitude to you for agreeing to receive my letters. Strangely, though, we have not yet met. I feel a friendship growing between us with every keystroke. I wonder if that means he's typing. Well, obviously he's typing this. I do not address you as friend in reference to our intermediaries, but rather because I see you already in this light. It can be difficult to be alone. The click and ding of this machine is not unlike the slow, irregular beating of a weary heart. If only I was allowed a pen. So I guess he's using a typewriter. That'd be my guess. I can only assume that by your apparent interest in what a forgotten old man may write you, that you are of a curious nature. In this regard, we are quite similar. I find my own curiosity nearly insatiable. I have developed in my own time a certain taste for the bittersweet chaos that inevitably ensues. Do you know this craving? Does it flow through you as it does me? You may think your own curiosity to be more subdued, and in truth, I once felt the same way. It was only through meditative reflection on a lifetime of little, seemingly insignificant leaks of my curious spirit into the world that I realized something vital to my being. The leaky pipe carries more water. Unfortunately for me, the majority of those behind desks making decisions, breaks and leaks, are more likely to show depression, to last decades and perhaps a century. But you and I know more than that. It is the feeling of longing for that roast of knowledge upon which only those who are with our curious hunger may feast. It is the thrill of the hunt. Yeah, definitely is the thrill of the hunt. Hunt the killer. There we go. And what is it a hunter does? A hunter stalks his prey. He gets inside its head, knows the prey. He understands its behaviors. The best hunters commune with their quarry. They respect it and perhaps even love it. But for a hunter to refine his skill, he must learn from his prey. He accepts that there are things he does not know. Perhaps he never will, but he craves the knowledge. Do you do this, my friend? Do you think I know something? You must, or you would not have chosen to become engaged in this discourse we now share. Perhaps I know something, or could know nothing of any value. If I did, I would only give my secret to someone clever enough, curious enough to hunt for it. I do hope you prove to be just such a friend to me. It can be difficult to be alone. I feel the great weight of isolation upon me. Will you help dig me out? As always, John William James. Now, seems a little grandiose, you know. Maybe he has delusions of grandeur, my guess, I guess. I don't know. Kind of like a Batman villain. Okay, next we have is the paper cup. I don't know where that is. I didn't see that in here. Let's see, where's the paper cup? There's the pen. Let's see. Uh-oh, did I not get the paper cup with this one? Uh-oh. Oh, there it is. Little paper cup. Okay, now this, having been visited many prisons, I know that this is the kind of cups that prisoners get. So I suspect that he's incarcerated somewhere, whether it be a hospital or like an asylum, something of that nature. Why did he send this to me? I don't know. But something that does bother me is usually at places that give you this, if they don't trust you with a pill bottle, generally speaking, you have to turn this stuff in. So I'm wondering if he's stealing this, hiding it, either maybe has a special friend in there that's giving him special favors, because we know that happens. Okay, next we have a newspaper article. And this, actually I have two newspaper articles, but we'll go ahead and read this. Okay. These are the newspaper articles, okay? My case did not come with this because mine was an earlier version before they included this particular thing, this particular article, but we'll go ahead and get with it. Endangered cat terrorizes local housewife. Now, if you'll notice about this, there's some stuff on the bottom. You'll be able to see it in your version. I'm going to put it in post. Okay. Red Lion. Animal Control responded to a request from police early yesterday after officers arrived at a strange scene after a call from Eloise Dickel, who was concerned she had an intruder in her basement. It certainly was a shocking thing to wake up to, said Dickel. I heard heavy footsteps and glass breaking, and I thought I knew. Someone was in the basement stealing our fish. You never think it could be something like this. Dickel said that her husband, an avid fish collector and breeder, is away on a business trip, and she has been in the house alone for several days. What made her think someone had staked out her home in advance? They have several large aquariums and many fish specimens, each coveted by collectors and difficult to breed. Okay. Dickel thought there was a clever burglar or rival breeder until her husband was away to steal the fish for themselves. As it turns out, this is not what happened. When police arrived on the scene, they could hear something coming from the basement. With no one responded, the officers' orders to identify themselves and come out of the basement. The officer, Robert Diggs, was the first to descend. What he confronted was not a burglar, but a large 6-foot pale brown cat. I ran so fast out that I didn't even remember the stairs, said Diggs. Animal control specialists arrived at a request of the police and identified the cat as Felis cuniculor cori, the Florida panther. The Florida panther? Where is this? Redline, I think that was in Pennsylvania, isn't it? I don't know. These panthers, which were placed on the federal endangered species list in March of this year, were not typically found outside Florida. I'm not sure how I'm going to tell my husband about this when he gets home. The panther smashed all of his specialty aquariums. I think he just lost thousands of dollars in fish. Animal control is working with the police to determine how the cat arrived in Dickel's basement. It's interesting. You know, coming from Florida to Pennsylvania, probably. Well, the other thing that was on the back of it is from Lancaster. I know that's probably in Pennsylvania. It's quite a trip. This is from September 30th, 1967. Body found on Weiss Island by Chad Brummington, Lancaster. The body of a woman was discovered washed ashore at Weiss Island by recreational boaters yesterday evening. I thought she might have been some woman who maybe got lost or swam out there and fell asleep, said Daniel Smith, a boater who informed the authorities. Jane Doe was discovered without any form of identification. According to this reporter's police source, however, there was a mark on her wrist that suggested she could have been wearing some kind of bracelet. The woman, though she was clothed in a thin gown, also had several stab wounds, bruising, and a Y incision. This type of incision is the same made during an autopsy, according to the medical examiner's office. The woman had been dead at least 36 hours prior to the discovery of a small island in the Susquehanna River. Police have said they will be conducting an internal review of their policies regarding cadavers. The word around the office is that we think this was some Jane Doe we're already investigating, or that maybe the investigation is already done, said the source. Now we have to make sure that if we transport bodies for research or whatever it is they do, that we do it in a secure way. So, basically, calls to nearby hospitals confirmed that no patients had gone missing in the past week. A worker at one institution, the O'Brien Asylum, reached out to this reporter to highlight a rumor there that a woman was murdered. The informant remained anonymous, and a follow-up call to the asylum revealed there was an unauthorized call made from inside of one of the patient common areas. Given the nature of the institution, it does not seem likely the phone call carried any merit. So, we have a woman stabbed in a wine station, so there was an autopsy obviously done. Okay, now the Susquehanna River, if you look at it, let's take a look. That's at the mouth of the Chesapeake. Okay, and I'll put it up on screen in post. There you go, let's take a look. Let's see, SAS. River. There we go. Okay, so see, okay, so the Susquehanna River runs right next to Darlington. Okay, its mouth empties into the Chesapeake Bay, and that's right upriver or right downriver from Darlington. So she could have been killed at Darlington and put there, but she may have been at O'Brien. Let's see O'Brien. It's O'Brien, New York. Obrienny. Okay. Hospital originating from Kushtown, New York, flows over 440 miles, ever to Grace, Maryland, not O'Brien, New York. So O'Brien, New York does not run near that particular river, but for some reason that does. That's interesting. Darlington does. Maybe that's how he got access to the. They just dumped it in the river somewheres. Okay, now we're looking at this puzzle here. Okay, now this is a book cipher. This is one of these ciphers where, if you look at this, we got numbers 3, 4. So that's gonna be like your third paragraph, fourth word, third word, fourth letter, something of that nature. In this case, I suspect it's the third line, fourth word. So I don't know which one it is. So let's start with the endangered cat. 1, 2, 3. From. Then we got 18-2. From on. That doesn't sound like a word. Okay, now if we go back to the body on Weiss Island, which is the other side of this sheet, we go, I have already confirmed we will be bodies of merit and diligence. So that appears to be something, a message to us from John William James, because he's the one who included this apparently. Now, again, like I said, I had an earlier version of this. It didn't come with this, but I believe it's this area of the storyline. Okay, next, we have this one. This is the one that's edited out, okay? I'm going to read both at the same time, and I'll tell you the words that are left out. Okay. I write that up. That would definitely help. Okay, sinkhole highlights challenges of detecting infrastructure failings by Scott Dance. Well, Scott probably going to be the word we need. Then we have The Baltimore Sun, July 10th, 2016. When a sinkhole cratered... When a sinkhole cratered Mulberry Street, is the one that's crossed out, from one sidewalk to the other, etc., etc., etc. You can read it on the screen for yourself. That's why I put these on here. Okay? The other one is to open up between blank and blank. So we scroll down here. A leak in the 8-inch water pipe. A leak in the 8-inch water pipe from a single property caused a 30-foot deep sinkhole open between Green and Paca Streets. Don't think that's going to be useful. Owned water and sewer mains on York Road in Coxville last month and Center Street in Mount Vernon in April. That's interesting. Maybe I should plot these on a map. I'll do that. I'll post it up in post. Okay, scroll down. Use certain amount of judgment. Spokesman Kent Kocher said, I don't think that'll be useful. Was a higher priority than the leaky pipe because it carries more water. So the leaky pipe carries more water. That was from John William James's letter. Okay, so we're kind of seeing what's going on here. He's quoting this article as a kind of get us directed at this. And this is talking about infrastructure failings. So what I'm thinking is that John William James is trying to inform us that there's some kind of failing, whether it be institutional where he's at or something that he's going to try to take advantage of. Okay? And we'll let you look that to yourself. Okay? So we got through this. So I think that's what we got from there. Here's all the ones that, well, no, I didn't write them all down. Several of these phrases came here. Ultimately, we believe he's doing a failing at the facility. Now, this is the swan photo. I'll post it again up in post. Okay. The swan, we're going to come back to this, okay? Next thing we have is the star chart. Now, some of the ones that are extremely focused on here is Cygnus up at the top, and then you have Draco, you have Lacerta, Andromeda, Cephas, Cassiopeia, Cameliope, Ursa Major, okay, and Ursa Minor. And they got Polestar. But Cygnus also means swan, okay? And there's some stuff behind it, okay? Zeus disguised himself as a swan to seduce Leda. Another story has Orpheus transforming into a swan in the sky and next to his harp, which is a lyre. The reason I'm looking at the harp thing is because we have a string here. And this may have come from a harp. Okay, we don't know yet for sure. Now, this is also the swan. So these kind of go together. Like he's trying to tell us to look at the star. This could just be more of his grandiose personality, but we don't know. Well, this is a fourth wall thing. This is just what you're supposed to do with Hunt a Killer. I don't include a copy of this because it gives a link to a site that no longer works and a phone number that no longer works. So we're not going to put that up there. They also give you a handy dandy notebook to scribble all your little notes and whatnot in. I don't use these. I keep all my stuff in pristine condition as much as possible. Okay? So, now what we need to do is we need to look at let's see, got through all that. Hackman, Star Charge String. Okay, next. We're going to go to the online. This is where we're going to get this from. So let's go to the online thing. I'm going to let you watch me do this, okay? Okay, we go to YouTube, and here we go. This is episode 1. Okay, so we start off with, this is Listening Friends of America's website. Okay, we scroll down to Inspector Notes Database. Okay, scroll down. And we're scrolling down to the number on here, which is YSKFL, on the envelope, which is 013K9DF. Okay? Now, the password, as you can see I'm typing in, is RSO13K9DF. So you start with RSO13K. Then RSO13K9DF is your password. Come on, type it in. Let's go, guys. RSO13K9DF. I can't type today. Come on. Just do this. There we go. Okay, now RS3013K9er. So scroll down to 9. Click on 9. We gotta type it again. Okay, let's do this. We have to make sure to put in caps and everything. Okay. Now, most of the time, I'm just going to paste these. Come on. There we go. Now, this is our sheet. Okay? So, I went ahead and printed this out for everybody. So, this is what we got. And I'll post the thing out on post. Okay, what we have that stands out, the listing, we got Rachel Scalone. Even though the inspector on the front of the thing is a little different, but it's okay, it just says RS. But listing Friends of America letter shows it was untampered. Patient letter, patient does not reveal any sensitive information. Okay, well, that's fine. Letter is typed, patient is under sharps-free supervision. That's something we got to keep an eye on. Okay, medical cup crushed. There's no residue or anything like that. And there's no idea why he gave it to us. I still don't know, but usually you would turn those in, so that's a little strange here. A little bit of string. Request security to ensure proper locks on the music room. So did he open the music room, break in? Is that a sign there's some kind of failing there? Second, we have picture of the swan. Image copied from a book in the library. Patient made card in arts and crafts. Patient seems to be focusing on swans recently. I wonder why. I wonder what swans has to do with it, other than like Orpheus. He's kind of grandiose, so he might have something to do with that. Star chart. Another image copied and printed in arts and crafts. That's that blue star chart. And then the article is certain words and phrases are redacted. Now, again, this is an earlier version, so I don't know what the newer version is. So it didn't mention the other two articles. I believe those are tied in later. I'm sure we'll get them later, or it could just be a red herring from Hunt a Killer. So, where do we stand now? Okay, so this is my summation at this point. Okay, John William James sent a star chart where Cygnus, Draco, and Lyra are very prominent. He also sent us a medicine cup and a string. The string could be from the music room, which needs locks repaired. The medicine cup should have been turned in. Could be another failing, besides the lock, also lack of control with the medicine. Okay? John William James speaks like a cartoon villain and seems to think we are all like him. His secret we need to hunt, and our curiosity flows through us like him. He's not allowed a pen or anything sharp. So, that's about as much as we have to go on. So, I'm going to go ahead and close it down here. I will catch you in episode 2. Enjoy. You can feel free to put comments on here if you have questions. I will try to answer them as much as possible. There weren't too many puzzles in here, so any of these puzzles, I'll show you how to do them pretty meticulously going forward. This so far has not tied in yet to our theory as to the whole Hunt a Killer situation, but I will do that probably at the end of the season. Okay? I will catch you on the next one.